How are you doing today?
Good.
My name is Kyrie Grant, and I will be showing you guys my home away from home and shelter for the displaced. So to start off, here's me and my family. A lot of you guys may not know, or a lot of you guys may know that I am originally from New Orleans. This is us playing outside. Funny story, there's a fire hydrant right here that I ran tooth first in, and it was very, I was crying. Yeah, we're from New Orleans, and we had to move to Phoenix in '05 due to Hurricane Katrina, unfortunately. So my family means a lot to me. My whole family is from Louisiana, which is cool besides this little one right here. She was born in Arizona. She ruined everything. But no, moving from the south or to the west side of the United States was very tough, just because a lot of it is like very, very different. Just like the culture, the styles, even the weather. Louisiana's hot like Arizona as well, but it's also Louisiana's more humid. So it's very different, but I got used to it. You know? So to go into my problem, so Hurricane Katrina was very devastating, and as you can tell, there's a lot of people that didn't have anywhere to go. There was a lot of people stuck on their homes, and in my personal opinion, I think it's due to the fact that we've never seen a hurricane like this before in Louisiana before it happened. So a lot of people was like, oh, it's just gonna be a rainstorm. My stepdad was like that, and my mom like forced him to leave, or he would have been one of these people. But I would probably say if I was like a little older, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's just a regular rainstorm, nothing's gonna happen. Because during the hurricane season, you get a lot of rainstorms, you just sleep in the room and there's just nothing. So no one was really expecting this to happen. And then, have you guys ever witnessed or seen or been to a shelter? No. Okay, so a lot of the last like few thousand people in Louisiana just needed a place to go. And so the Superdome where the New Orleans Saints play, unfortunately got robbed in the Super Bowl. We all had to stay here. So as you can see, there's a lot of cots, a lot of people just around. I can tell it's like not sanitized at all. It's just like very open. There's people all over the place. Like I said, they didn't have anywhere to go. So this is where they have to sleep. Me and my family, we left, I believe, like the day before or 2 days before, and we actually drove to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where my cousin stayed, where my whole design is gonna take place. And so that comes to my research. I researched shelter design, mental illness, and flexible design. And then I decided to focus more on the mental illness part of it. And so with that, 31.9% struggled with PTSD, 61.9% had suicidal thoughts, and then 82.9% had a serious mental illness. And then with my concept, I decided to go with safe, just because I want people to feel safe when they walk into my space. They just lost their home. They just lost what they called like their safe haven. So when people walk into there, I want them to feel safe, secure, and like they have a place to go home. I want it to be diverse, just because there's going to be people all over the state. You don't know where these people are coming from, or you know where they're coming from, but you don't know like their backgrounds and stuff like that. And I just wanted a very diverse space. And then vivid, just because with like the mental illness aspect of it, I just wanted it to be a lot of color. So when people walk in, they're not walking into a shelter that you see a lot, where it's just like plain walls, these ugly fluorescent lights on the ceiling. I just wanted it to be very fun. And so that brings me to my solution. And so I'm gonna focus on the sleeping areas, the arcade/game room, the dining, and then the resource room, which is very beneficial. And then just to go through more of the other spaces, I have the reception here, and then I have the daycare here, so when parents are going to the resource center, they can drop their kids off to the daycare, and then I also have 2 rooms here with cribs for if they need to drop their babies off as well. And then we have the gym here with a cycle studio. A lot of you may know I love cycling. I cycle 20 miles a day. And then we have the rec and sporting center here with our little rock wall in the corner. And then we have the shower rooms right here with ADA showers, ADA toilets, and then we have lockers as well here. And I also have lockers here for the gym. So to go into my first perspective, I focused on bunking, and I wanted it to be very colorful. Like I say, like in my concept, I want it to be very vivid. It's very spacious. I should stepbrothers. There's a lot of room for activity. With the furniture, so I have a built-in dresser here, and then this part of the this part of the bed, when there's two separate functions of it, you can just have it to where it could be a pull-out dresser as well. So whoever's sleeping here can put their stuff there. And then if there was like a larger family, we can custom make another bed to where this portion here would just pull out. So there's more room. So that's that area. So this would be more for like a small family, and this would be for more like a larger family. And then going into this one as well, it's pretty much the same. What I wanted to do was create another space that was more bright and more fun. So I decided to go like a green and a yellow. I know green's more of like a warm tone color, but just like adding this little yellow there makes it pop a little more. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. And then this one is also more for like a small family. But I do have areas where you can have singles or elderly people. And then this up here is a little like portable baby crib in case, say, no one's gonna wanna leave their baby in the daycare all night. They're gonna want them sleeping next to them. So this little guy here can just bump up next to the bed, per se. So that's that. And then with my dining, what I wanted to do was, since all my walls are enclosed, I wanted to be bright and open and almost have a sense of you're eating outside. Have you guys ever been to New Orleans? No.
Not to.
So a lot of, if you go to the French Quarters, a lot of it is you're eating, just like they're all set up to where you're kind of eating outside, which is nice because the weather's always nice when it's not raining. So that's what I wanted to do here. I just wanted to have a space that felt like you were outside. So I have the sky painted on the ceiling here that's dropped down just a little bit, and then around this would be like a soft yellow light to act as the sun per se. And then instead of having the ceiling just like a plain white, I decided to add a painting up here as well, just make it gray. So that's my dining area. And then I have boots over here, and then I have this curve, as you can see up here, the curve's right here. And this is where like if people just want to go eat by themselves, they can eat there. And then I have, you can't see it, but like in the back on this wall, I have tables for two, or maybe just for one. And then here there's tables for like people of 8. Also want to mention the food would be more of like a buffet. So it's going to be made and then it's going to be brought out to the buffet tops, and then people can just go choose to eat whatever they want. And then my idea was to have, I went on this cruise, and I thought it was really cool because they had a pizzeria and an ice cream shop that was just open constantly 24 hours. So you can eat, if you like wake up and you're hungry, you can just go eat. So that's my idea for the dining. And then with my arcade/game room, I wanted a space for the kids where they can go, just because I moved, Hurricane Katrina happened when I was 8. And so we went to our cousin's house, and it was just, all we did was just sit there until we decided to get up and move to Arizona. So having something like this would have been very cool, just because, I mean, we're young, so we're not really thinking about what's going on, but you can still get away and be a child, be a kid. And then with my resource center, what I wanted to do, this space is for like the parents where you can go and find jobs, cars, homes, whatever they need. I know it's like a tough time, and I know it's hard for my mom to get back on her feet, but she did it. And I just think this space, I wanted to make this space for them, and this can also have job fairs, so they can, like I said, find new jobs. So that's what I wanted for this space. And then for my further direction, what I think if someone wanted to pick this up and expand it, I think it would be really cool to have like a outdoor seating area, or my original floor plan had a separate building. I think that would have been cool to have like a shrink room or whatever, a sanctuary where people can go pray, medical, stuff like that. I think that would be really, really cool to see. And then I just wanted to end with saying that not only was this meant to be for people displaced, but I also think it's really cool to like help the homeless get off the street. I think a lot of people like see the homeless people and it's like, oh, that's their fault, you know, and you never know their situation. So I think we need to help get those people off the street as well. And so I just wanted to end by saying, here comes my presentation.
Hey guys.
That was a little quick. You're at 11:50.
Yeah, that was quick.
It's okay.
I feel like a black and
It happens to us all.
I'll just go back to this.
Alex.
No one's gonna want to leave, so that's really cool. I thought the use of your colors was very bright and inviting. And I was wondering how many like beds do you have, or like how many can you sleep?
So I thought of it as around like 250, 350, just because if you think about it, I mean, there's bunk beds, so I mean, you could try to fit 2, but if not, that's totally fine. But the ideal stay would be like 3 months. The research said that would be like perfect to help get you back on your feet. That's like the perfect amount of time. But if it takes you longer than that, then I mean, we can accommodate that.
I have a couple of questions. I loved your perspectives. I loved the design. I loved the pops of colors. One thing that I was kind of curious about was security. You mentioned that you wanted your place to feel secure, and so I know that since it is a rescue place, a lot of people will be bringing what they can. And so, how are you going? Do the dressers or the bed function drawers have like a lock system?
So yeah, they would all have locks, and then each. I'll just go back to this one. Yeah. So this little barn door, like at my job, we have a barn door, and on the floor there's like a nail that pops out of the floor, and it locks in, so you can't open it. And then it would also latch in the what's it called? But it would like latch into like the little part on the frame. That makes sense. And then there's also get there. On my RCP, I have like a ton of security cameras going around here to see who's going in and out.
And then my other question is, since it is going to be a rescue staffing, how are you going to accommodate for the employees and the staffing?
So that'd be like a part of like my other building that I have, building a space just for them where they can go, so they don't have to say if they live far away.
You mean you didn't want to design more square footage?
No, it says 73,000 square feet. The original one was 106.
It was.
I think we're all really proud of you, Kyrie. As this class, we heard how rough it was for you in the beginning, all the way until the end. And I think that your end product is it just shows what hard work can do. And not that our projects were bad or anything like that, but just because we knew you were having a hard time in the rough beginning, you have something to be really proud of, Kyrie, and I love it. I would love to be there and check it out. And your project is a lot like mine, where it's very personal, and I think through your frustrations, you were still able to create something very impressive and very personal. So good job, Kyrie.
Looking at this, there's like a lot more I want to say.
You're fine.
What do you want to say?
Well,
Yeah, we got 15 minutes.
Cool linoleum floors to add a way of like wayfinding. So if people are like, oh, I'm staying on the orange strip, or I'm staying on the green strip, or purple, or like this color was like called cash or whatever. I thought that was like pretty cool, so people can find their way home or to their room, as well as like each room has like a different color entry, and I try to keep them the same. So that's what I forgot.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the rooms that are really small and not labeled are storage rooms.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to. I was like, where are they going to store all this food and?
Well, the kitchen's here.
Right, but like also like the dry.
And then I have this long, narrow storage room there.
Yeah, go for it.
Early on in your project, we talked briefly, and I thought there was a component that this was going to be like a multitask use.
It was, the original plan was like a shelter / after school daycare center, and then me and Sarah had a talk, and that was just not ideal.
Okay, well,
But I think using it as a home and shelter as well is gonna help it.
stay full when there's not an emergency situation.
Yeah.
And you have the whole community component of teaching, life skills, classroom setting, which is really nice for building this size.
Sorry. I think I understand. I think one nice thing would have been if you had added something like maybe a donation center or a little room.
It is there.
There.
Oh!
The donation center where all the toys and clothes.
Never mind
everything.
it. You thought on top of it.
Look at
None of it, I just
one step
didn't
ahead.
show it as perspective.
And it's well placed in the building.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree. I just have a quick design furniture question. What is the resource for the bunk beds? They're really cool.
Want to know my honest opinion?
Oh.
No, they were honestly custom made, and then there's these cool. Sorry, instead of like a ladder, there's these cool like little
Yeah.
holes. That
They're
you-
great. I like how they can be changed around.
And then over there,
I think I want one for my room.
Yeah.
I used to have a bunk bed, and I actually fell off. So I was on the top. They're not fun.
Now, if you can fall off and stay sleeping, that'd be impressive.
Never happened.
I have a kid that did.
Crazy.
Can you go back on that picture where you were before?
Yes. There's the purple one or the green one?
Either one of the rooms.
Like, I like this one better.
Yeah. Whichever you like. So you went through a couple of iterations, as a lot of us do, of the floor plan itself. And then it progressed and it progressed. And you had mentioned at some point, I really want to bring in color. And this execution of that notion, to me, that's the part that I'm the most proud of you to see, because this is totally Kyrie as a designer showing up. Yeah, the furniture is cool, but the graphics that you have on the wall, you're tied to this small space in a cubicle, but that wall is so 3D and so dynamic and exciting. And then the carrying on of the fragments through the rest of the building, to me, that's Kyrie the designer. That's where you showed up. I mean, I really get the heart and soul of the shelter itself, but where you showed up as a designer are the tie-in of colors, and your use of it is just really, really well done. That's super.
All because you guys have good feedback.
No, you did that. That's you.
Oh yeah, you guys weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
Kyrie, I have to say, you did a great job. And bravo to you for being so willing to accept criticism and to hopefully constructive criticism. That's how you viewed it. But you took it and, you know, when hard questions were asked of you, then you were able to, you know, move forward and adapt, which I really appreciate seeing in you.
I'll take anything first.
I think in the presentation, I missed it. Maybe I missed it, that this also was meant to be a homeless shelter. Like what's happening here when there isn't an emergency, and you kind of mentioned it at the end as like, oh yeah, and this would be, but it's like, wait, did you say that? So that is a key component to your design, that because a state of emergency is a state of emergency. That doesn't happen, you know, that's not a given that it's happening every day. And so,
And you don't want a building being empty.
it can't sit vacant.
Yeah.
Like how is it? So that is a great component to it. And you really thought that out in your design. So, and I absolutely agree with Tom that I love, when I saw your poster, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Kyrie, like, damn, so good, so good. And I love that you stuck with this because it is such a personal, it is so deeply personal. And so I can't imagine. So I think you were able in your presentation just to really help us understand what that would feel like and be like to be displaced.
Eight. Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, you were so young. And I'm like, I was young, but I was 8. I was almost 10, right?
But you probably remember it very well, right? Yeah. I think that's what I also really kind of keyed into is you kind of use your experience of the evacuation to show like how and why you designed it the way you did. Like, for instance, most people would think that the gaming room was not necessary, but we don't realize that what are kids doing when they're sitting around waiting for the adults to figure things out, you know? Like, that's a huge aspect, and I don't think anybody would have understood it exactly until you had said that. So
I know, I saw little baby feels.
that's just crazy. I'm glad you guys got out in time. That you weren't the person on the roof.
Yeah, no.
That would not have been
Very
fun.
sad. So, wrong question.
Vince,
Okay.